Hello, welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show where we talk to independent artists from all around the world all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with Sloan Struble from the project Dayglow. Without any further ado, here's the interview. Well, Sloan, thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. I've been really excited to talk to you because you're kind of blowing up everywhere right now, man. You're all over the radio, you're on TV. It's really, really awesome, and I'm super honored to be able to talk to you right now. And I want to start at the beginning of your musical journey before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of what you're doing right now. And the first question I want to ask is, what is your earliest musical memory?
Let's see. I started learning guitar post playing Guitar Hero. For about a year or two, I reached expert mode. And then I thought, it's probably about time to start playing a real guitar. Got guitar lessons when I was about 9 or 10, and hated it. And then went back to Guitar Hero for about a year or two. And then I guess just taught myself on YouTube after that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I started making music around 10 years old. My cousin showed me GarageBand, the Apple app, and started messing with loops and that. But I don't know. I've kind of just always been making music.
Well, it sounds like you definitely had a pretty strong foundation in music as you were growing up. And from my research on you, it looks like your parents were quite musical too. It looks like your parents were singers and they met at some sort of country music function and they sang in church, and obviously the love of music got instilled in you, and when you got older in college, you set them down at the Magnolia Cafe and basically told them that you didn't want to go to school anymore, you were going to do this music thing full time. How exactly was that conversation? How did they react to that? And how did you feel? I don't know, how exactly was that moment in life?
Sure. Well, I have awesome parents. They're both just very great and supportive. I think as any parent would be in the beginning stages, they're just kind of cautious because, if I were to have a son and he were to be like, my passion is rock and roll, I'd be like, okay, well, let's look at this responsibly. And so I think at first they were a little hesitant, but once I started growing and seeing this growth happen, I was getting a lot of emails. This was my second semester of my freshman year at UT. And via my UT email, my school, .edu email, I was emailing all these record label people and managers and stuff. And so I'd been on the phone a couple times with my current managers, and they had offered to fly me out to Nashville and just kind of hang out and meet with them. And so I sat my parents down and was like, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to get these managers, because they're awesome guys. And my dad was like, well, you probably shouldn't be in school. And so it was just a really big relief that they were supportive of it, and it's worked out.
When I listen to your music, I really get a lot of optimistic feelings in there, and I know you have a lot of 80s pop influences, and that definitely comes through your music, but it transcends beyond that and becomes its own thing, and you're talking about very serious things and things that people go through, but you're also keeping it kind of bright and making it to where it's really engaging and just makes you feel better when you listen to it. When you craft those lyrics, do you try to go from an experiential side, trying to draw things from your own self, or do you try to craft a narrative, like a figurative story, but try to keep the message the same?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really a tricky thing to balance because one of my main objectives with Dayglow is just recognizing the potential and power that artists and musicians, for some reason, have. People really listen to their opinions. And I think there's a responsibility for any sort of creator or public artist to help people process and internalize their emotions positively. And so, although I think there is a time and place for like other types of music, just for me personally, my narrative and objective was figuring out how to make Optimism not seem like Disney. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be this whimsical, like unrealistic goal. And so, what I try to do is kind of create this irony in my music where it's really happy and fun, but I'm still talking about like, you know, some pretty real stuff. I try to do so, and not every single song is going to be that way. You know, there's some songs that are like kind of just fully sad, and some songs are just like all the way happy. But I think with Dayglow as a whole, my main objective would just be, to help people, the listener, internalize what they're going through and like foster like hope with what they're experiencing.
Very nice, very nice. I want to talk to you about your debut album, Fuzzy Brain. Obviously, that album's very popular. It's really well done. It's a really awesome album. And you have some really cool production breakdowns of the songs on Fuzzy Brain on your YouTube channel. And you go through all the different things you did as far as composition, and you show it's not these $1 million plugins and effects and instruments you're using. You're using a lot of stock stuff that you can find in Logic Pro X and just free plugins that you found online. And I found that really, really inspiring as a musician myself. And I know a lot of people that watch this show are super into production and want to know things that you do in your production. So if you had to choose your 3 favorite plugins or MIDI instruments or just instruments in general, what would you choose?
Ooh, let's see. Good question. Yeah, you've reached my heart. 3 favorite plugins. I would say audio effects plugins. I mean, like this isn't one, but I would say like the Sound Toys bundle. Just the entire thing. Just that alone is enough effects. But in the world of plugins, you can never have enough. So yeah, we'll start with Sound Toys. I use a lot of Waves J37, which is like a tape emulator. Just runs things through, makes it sound like you're going through tape. And then 3, let's see, I use another Waves like 76 compressor emulator kind of thing. So instruments, all the Arturia Analog Lab stuff is really good. I mostly use well, I've been starting to get more analog stuff using with synths, but I use their like Mellotron a lot because I'm never going to own a Mellotron. I was like researching that the other day. I was like, that'd be awesome. And I was like, that's just dumb. You know, in this day and age, just like there are people who have the exact masters of the tape, you know, just get digital Mellotrons.
Seems like it'd be like a lot of maintenance for like a Mellotron like that.
Yeah. And to find someone who like does maintenance on a Mellotron in your city, I mean, like I can't imagine like the price. But I love Mellotrons and that kind of sampling. So Arturia's stuff, mostly using Arturia. I mean, I have like the Korg bundle, and beyond that, I don't know. Mostly I'm just doing like out of the box synth stuff now, which is really exciting. But yeah.
Yeah, and I saw like you have a really cool studio space, which I imagine you're sitting in your house. When I imagine it's in your house, but you have a really cool like wall of synths and everything that I'm very jealous of. Whenever I see videos of you, I'm like, I want that. But
it's fun. It's like, you know, I gotta be, you know, real. It's just like, do I need it? Are there plugins that like do the same thing? And it's like, to some degree, it's like it is actually really helpful and inspiring, I think, mostly to have the actual synths and to play with them, because I'm all about like imperfection being quality. It's really strange in our day and age that like, in my opinion, like high production value doesn't necessarily mean flawless. It's kind of like if you know how to use flaws. I don't know, but
well, you've definitely had a lot of success with the music that you put out already, and you have a new album coming out May 21st, and it's called Harmony House. And recently you put out a single called Close to You, and just a couple days ago at the time of recording this, you released a single called Something, which is the lead single off of Harmony House. What was the process of recording this album like? And I know COVID hit everybody really, really hard, and you were on tour when that happened. I don't know if you were writing or recording it during that time, but how did COVID affect the making of this album, if it affected it at all?
A little bit, yeah. So I had written and recorded like a lot of the songs pre-COVID, but I hadn't mixed them, which I mixed this album myself, which kind of like COVID allowed me to do because I would have been on the road and not able to do that. So that's really exciting and something I'm really proud of. Is that the only other person was the mastering engineer, which to be honest, I'm not fully sure what mastering is. But yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I mixed it myself, and it's the same process as Fuzzy Brain. I mean, I have, like I was saying, more gear kind of, but it's not like I'm in, like Westlake Studios or something. I'm just like, using what I have, and most of the stuff is just like used vintage gear that I found on Reverb. So yeah, it's the same process, just me in a room kind of driving myself crazy.
Well, that album's coming out on May 21st. I'm very excited about it. And if people want to keep up with what you're doing, how can they find you online?
It's Dayglow Band. I think it's the same for Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Sloan, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man. But before you go, I got one more question for you. And I don't know if you've ever seen a Big Bang Radio spotlight before, but I'm a musician and I also love film. And I believe those two worlds are not too far away from each other. They're pretty connected in a way, and musicians have a soft spot for it. And I want to ask you before you go, what is your favorite movie?
Oh, good question. Putting me on the spot. Let's see. Favorite movie. I kind of have the same reaction where, like with music, it's like, what's your favorite album? It's like, I have to do a genre. I just have to be like, this is the genre, and then I can pick, because it's too hard to pick a favorite movie. But I would say the first one that comes to mind, because I saw it recently and I've watched it a handful of times, is Coco, the Pixar movie. I loved that movie. I thought it was so good, and the music was awesome. And each time I've like not only cried, but I've been like chin quivering crying, like not just like the cliche movie like single tear, But I really enjoyed that movie.
Thanks to Sloan for sitting down with us and talking all about his music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can go to facebook.com/Studio67NCC, our new YouTube, Studio67NCC, or you can find us on Instagram at Studio67NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.